Hello and welcome to my favourite 5 movies of 2024. I know I'm running a little bit late on this one as we're already well into the new year, but you know the festive season. So sit down and join me for a run through what, in my opinion, deserved some love last year, and maybe you'll find something that you missed too. In no particular order I'd say, but we're starting with Dune Part 2. Denis Villeneuve continues his streak of absolutely zero misses, following on, of course, from Dune Part 1, but also Arrival, Blade Runner 2049, and Sicario, to name a few of his best and brightest, and also some of my favourite movies from recent years. Now, I'm not sure whether I like this one more for the plot, the performances, or simply the technical aspects, but the CGI, cinematography, and sound are absolutely flawless. Stunning landscapes, monstrous machinery, airships, buildings, worms. Dune Part 2 had all of them in abundance, and it certainly makes me wonder how much Hollywood dollar a piece like this requires. Part 2 follows the rise of Timothée Chalamet's Paul Atreides as he strives to control Arrakis with the help of the Freeman People's rebellions against House Harkonnen, run by the menacing Stellan Skarsgård and, in a smaller role, Christopher Walken. Javier Bardem also appears as pretty unintentional comic relief, being the biggest hype man I've ever seen. I think Paul could probably drop a piece of toast, and if it landed butter side up, Stilgar would be screaming Lisan al-Gaib from the rooftops. Next on the list, a genre switch to talk about My Old Ass. No, not My Old Ass, the film called My Old Ass, starring Aubrey Plaza and Maisie Stella playing the same character, Elliot, at different stages of her life. Plot twist though, both versions get together and hang out for a night, thanks to probably literally magic mushrooms. It's a fun and surprisingly heartfelt ride, with Elliot frequently getting in touch with her older self, seeking advice and enlightenment about what her future brings, and whether it can still be changed. The advice is mostly centered around a mystery man called Chad and the perils of getting involved with him. I was pleasantly surprised by this one, especially with the clear message of making the most of the time you have, and also the intrigue of what on earth is going on in Aubrey Plaza's future, because it sounds, for lack of a better term, mental. And I'd probably bring some tissues for the ending. Number 3 is the excellent, almost fully CGI Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, featuring a practically entirely ape cast. Not literally, of course, but through the magic of motion capture, this is the kind of shit we get up to in cinema now. The 4th movie of the rebooted franchise, Kingdom, follows human Nova, played by Freya Allen, who you may know as Ciri from Netflix's The Witcher. Nova comes across young ape Noah, voiced by Owen Teague, as he sets out to find the tribe who destroyed his home. Weirdly, I got some Horizon Zero Dawn vibes from the second half of this film, with Kevin Durand's group of apes attempting to utilize now ancient human technology to continue their reign over the new ape population of planet Earth. The CGI, as expected, is stunning, giving an incredibly real-looking and believable cast of primates throughout its 2.5-hour runtime. Looking forward to the next entry in what is expected to be a new trilogy. Then we have Kinds of Kindness, the next piece from director Yorgos Lanthimos, and his 3rd collaboration with Emma Stone. Well, 4th if we're counting his short silent film Bleat, which also featured her. Kinds of Kindness is an anthology film featuring 3 different stories, also starring Jesse Plemons, Willem Dafoe, and Margaret Qualley. After The Favourite and Poor Things, I was excited to check this one out, and it really didn't disappoint. Featuring the bizarre tales of a man trying to escape his fate, a paranoid cop thinking not everything is as it seems, and a woman searching desperately for the right person to fulfill a prophecy. Strange, creepy, and snappily written, Kinds of Kindness really hits the spot if you're looking for something to wrap your head around and enjoy on a quiet afternoon. Although it does slap you round the face with a hefty runtime of almost 3 hours, which is a length that's starting to get a little too common these days, and I feel like we all need an intermission. It also featured one of the silliest marketing campaigns on social media by simply posting Emma Stone dancing in a car park. And that was it, really. And it worked. Finally, we come to It's What's Inside, where we join a group of friends gathering for a pre-wedding party that is interrupted by the introduction of a very mysterious suitcase brought by an old acquaintance become inventor. His unnerving party game turns into an existential nightmare as the friends discover their secret desires and delve into long-running grudges. I will say, without trying to spoil too much, you might need to be making notes of who is going where during this film, and it's been a while since a non-horror movie has made me feel quite so uncomfortable with its storyline. The very nature of this honestly kind of made my skin crawl at times, with what the main character's game really does to people, and leads into some pretty disturbing happenings later in the film. IMDb says dark comedy, I say, oh god no, you probably shouldn't touch that suitcase again, please. In my honourable mentions this year, I have 3 films that went fairly under the radar, but in my opinion at least went down pretty smoothly. We have Land of Bad, featuring Russell Crowe and the slightly smaller Hemsworth brother, much in the vein of Behind Enemy Lines and Eye in the Sky, as a drone operator keeps tabs on a Special Forces mission from above. The title of the film is, to put it bluntly, pretty awful, but I feel like the studio just didn't want to name yet another film Badlands, because weirdly we've actually had a few of those recently. However, I'm sure there were maybe other options. Russell Crowe shines in a surprisingly comedic role in the control room and enjoys a nice shopping trip, which is actually one of my favourite scenes given how it contrasts with what can only be described as a shitstorm elsewhere on the planet. We were also treated in 2024 to yet another Jason Statham special, The Beekeeper. At this point, he's had so many random jobs, I'm expecting his next film to be the bricklayer or perhaps the sales assistant. But The Beekeeper was at least a fun action romp featuring the Jason Statham you know and love, rampaging through various set pieces and blasting baddies in the face with either the nearest gun, a piece of office equipment, or simply his fist. Definitely a popcorn flick, and a good laugh. Unfrosted is my final mention in this video, a film allegedly based on a true story, sort of, I guess. It follows 2 warring cereal companies fighting to create the next big breakfast thing, and basically plays out like an extended Saturday Night Live sketch. Sit down and enjoy a lot of one-liners, airplane-style jokes, and plenty of physical comedy. And also Hugh Grant playing Tony the Tiger, because that happened. And there we have it, another year of movies in the books, and I think some pretty solid ways to spend your evening. Hopefully you've enjoyed the list and maybe spotted something to put in your eyeballs in the near future, while we wait for the absolute siege of films that are coming out in 2025. As always, don't forget to like the video, subscribe if you want to see more and other content, and feel free to let me know what you watched in 2024 and you think should make the list. See you next time.